Tonight we have the latest on all the rain. Good evening. I'm Shantari Skinner.
And I'm Chelsea Beimfor. Right now, reporter Aaron O'Brien is on the roof. Aaron, what weather updates do you have for us?
Like much, but it adds up quickly. Several rivers and streams throughout the Northeast Georgia area have already overflowed, contributing to even more flooding. Also, the roads are slick and several have already been closed. Also, drivers need to be wary about the fog, but for more information about that, visit GradyNewsource.com. More bad news for Northeast Georgia residents. We probably won't be seeing the sun for the next week and a half. Reporter Janae James visited Oglethorpe County today, where she found out that several roads have already been closed.
Because it's not much of a road right now. It's a mud pit. It's not the only dangerously wet road in Oglethorpe County, and no signs out here to warn you of them. I drove down Glen Road and ran into this. No sign here to warn people from driving down the road, but Glen Road is on the text alerts, and for a good reason. Other road closures include Arnold Caldwell Road from Centerville Road to Lloyd Smith Road, New Hope Vesta Road from Pitts Road back to where the pavement ends, Glen Road from Lloyd Smith Road to North Bridges Road, Smith Road to Duck Pond Road, and Thaxton Road near Wilkes County line.
If you want to sign up for these alerts, just text OC Sheriff to 888-777.
The wet weather may be hurting voter turnout today. It's election day. There are mayoral, city council, and board of education races going on all over Northeast Georgia.
Grady Newsource reporter Shannon Bassford is following the races and joins us live. Shannon, has voter turnout improved this afternoon?
Not if you use the mayor's race in Lexington as an example. By 4 p.m., only 20 people had voted. That's out of nearly 350 registered voters. It's practically the same story in all of these other races. The election in Bogart and Winder, Comer, and all of Jackson County also had low turnout. I went to Winterville and Crawford this morning, and both cities had less than 30% turnout before noon, and the story wasn't much better this afternoon.
Patricia Matthews is the poll manager for Crawford, Georgia. She says voter turnout in this year's mayoral election is one of the lightest she's ever seen. By noon, only 20 people had showed up.
We've been here 3 weeks for early voting, and didn't anybody come, you know. Some days we didn't have any, but you got to sit here hoping somebody will come.
Only about 30% of the voters in Crawford cast their ballots this morning. That's 50 of 176 registered voters. Election officials don't expect many more to show up. And things didn't look much better in Winterville, where voters will decide on a mayor and city councilman. Poll manager Audrey Buffington helped a few people vote today.
Needs to warm up a little bit. It's kind of yucky out here, but yeah, they're coming. Very slow.
More than 23% of 634 registered voters turned out before lunchtime, and Buffington doesn't expect much improvement.
Everybody remembers, and if the rain lets.
Not all of the counties were able to get back to me with exact numbers, but they did say turnout was low across the region. Polls are open for almost 2 more hours, so you still have time to vote. Election officials think voters will come out tonight after work.
There's a full slideshow of the candidates for each election in Northeast Georgia. Head over to GradyNewsource.com.
The leader of Athens for Everyone says he expects standing room only at tonight's monthly City-County Commission meeting. The reason? Tim Denson and dozens of others plan to attend a lobby for what they call a living wage for city-county workers.
Reporter Mary Grace Shaw joins us live at Athens County City Hall, where the mayor and city leaders will meet in less than 2 hours.
In my hand, I have a list of Athens Clark County jobs that pay below the living wage. Now, the living wage is a calculation from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Here in Athens, the living wage is $10.17. Now, most of the jobs on this list pay more than that, but some don't. And that's what the fight's all about.
Marcus Robinson says he makes $10 an hour as a temporary contractor for Athens Clarke County. His job is one of several county jobs that pays below the living wage, a salary he says is barely enough for him to pay the bills.
It's enough to get by, but it's really not enough, as far as living expenses and stuff like that.
Robinson says his salary is barely enough for the work of one person, but it's even worse when he has to take on extra jobs outside the job description.
Doing somebody else's job or picking up behind somebody.
Athens Clarke County Mayor Nancy Denson says she believes that there are no county workers who are paid below the living wage. The mayor said she would send the data to us today, but she did not. Instead, we looked up the salaries. Here's what we found. Most of the jobs listed do pay at or above the living wage, but others don't.
Actually have personally filed open records requests with the county government, and it turns out that currently, right now, we do have 11 positions that are being paid under that $10.17 level.
In addition to those 11 positions, there are more temporary and seasonal workers who earn below $10.17.
By our county government paying them poverty wages, they're actually contributing to that 38% poverty rate that we have here in the county.
These low wages are pushing Robinson to look for another job. He feels like his skills deserve more than $10.17 an hour.
Do what you can do to get by, but at the end of the day, whatever job you're working with and whatever you're doing, don't settle for less.
If you want to have your say on the issue, Tim Denson says anyone is welcome to come out and show their support, but of course, the commission meeting is open to the public. Live at the Athens Clarke County City Hall, I'm Mary Grace Shaw for Grady Newsource.
Thank you, Mary Grace. If you're unable to attend the meeting tonight, but you still want to learn more, you can visit the Athens for Everyone website.
Sometimes we feel like the red-headed stepchild.
People say the east side of Athens has been neglected for too long. How the community is trying to fix it next.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
So shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The people of East Athens say they want growth, the same kind of growth they see in areas like downtown and Prince Avenue. Grady Newsource reporter Rayleigh Rozier explains how people want to transform Lexington Avenue from a street you drive through to get somewhere else to a destination all on its own.
On Lexington Road, you won't find many businesses, just government buildings and the airport. People drive through the area without giving it too much thought, which upsets the people who live there.
Sometimes we feel like the red-headed stepchild.
Debbie Sorensen has lived and worked on the east side for 20 years. She says she loves the area, but its lack of development can be inconvenient.
If you want to buy a tie for Father's Day or a birthday present, you really have to drive almost 1 hour round trip plus shopping time to buy one article on the other side of town. So we'd like to see more coming this way.
It's for this reason and many others that the Federation of Neighborhoods met to discuss East Athens Tuesday night. A panel composed of commissioners and the director of the airport spoke about the challenges facing the neighborhood and asked people what they'd like to see happen to the east side.
There are plenty of ideas for what to do with spaces like this abandoned grocery store on Lexington Road. Things like hotels, entertainment venues, green spaces, and even an office for startup companies were all suggested at last night's meeting. So while there's certainly not a lack of vision for what to do in the area, there is, however, one major obstacle left in the way: traffic.
Even without a busy shopping scene, cars pile up, which is a big concern for potential developers. Georgia DOT is working to fix a particularly congested spot at Barnett Shoals in Lexington. District 1 Commissioner Sharon Dickerson says she thinks this project, along with future traffic improvements, will help bring business to the area.
I think that is one of the things that if you can improve will increase, make things easier for people to come to see you.
Which residents hope brings a lot more than this to Lexington Road moving forward. Rayleigh Rozier, Grady Newsource.
Along with bringing new businesses to the area, people also want to celebrate the industry that's already there. Debbie Sorensen and the East Athens Business Leaders Association are hosting an East Side Expo featuring local vendors and organizations. It will be at Tuxton United Methodist Church on November 14th from 10 to 2. For more information on participating in the expo, search the event on Facebook or contact Debbie Sorensen at 706-225-2872.
The attorney and father of a North Oconee County High School teacher's aide convicted of furnishing obscene material to a minor says he can't comment on the recent state Supreme Court ruling on his son's case. Attorney Michael Wetzel told Grady Newsource today that it's against a strict work policy for him to comment on pending litigation. Yesterday, the Georgia Supreme Court released a ruling in the case of Wetzel's son. The state's high court reversed the computer pornography and child exploitation conviction of Jeremy Wetzel. In the release, the court said that the state misled the jury, and the trial court's jury instructions did nothing to correct that misinformation. Wetzel also appealed another count, claiming that the state failed to prove that he knew the student was under 18 years of age, but the court affirmed that conviction.
When you ask who's an awesome teacher at Bethlehem Elementary School, one answer, Cassie Motes. She's a second grade teacher who's known for her passion to help students succeed in the classroom and, in her case, on the field. Reporter Kara Murphy explains.
Next vowel, A-E-I.
Welcome to Cassie Mote's second grade class, where every day is something new.
I want every day to feel different, and I want them to feel motivated each day to do better.
And Mote's kids would describe her classroom the same way.
Fun, exciting, and nice.
Mote is passionate about teaching her kids reading and writing. She makes sure to incorporate it in some way every single day.
I like to read books to them and them read to me, and a lot of reading and writing.
Mote always knew she wanted to be a teacher. Her love of teaching runs in the family.
I think so. My mom is a retired special ed teacher.
Mote's passion doesn't stop at the classroom. She is a former member and now sponsor of the University of Georgia Flagline. Motes was a performing member of the team for 5 years.
It's just like being home, to be a part of, we call it the Redcoat family.
Whether on the field or in the classroom, Motes has a passion for helping others.
We do it for the kids and just to see the amazing progress that they make and just to celebrate with them when they progress.
Kara Murphy, Grady Newsource.
Does that say on?
Mote says she plans to continue teaching and working with the UGA Flagline for years to come.
Will Northeast Georgia ever see the end of this rain? I've got your weather coming up next.
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills.
Check.
Driver's license.
Check.
And a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that. You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Terry, Northeast Georgia has experienced some severe weather this past week, causing flooding, fog, and dangerous roadways.
That's true, Chelsea. Aaron, how much longer until we see the sun?
And now, the weather.
Well, guys, we are going to continue to see the effects of this rain all throughout the week. We're going to have some heavy fogs, a chance of rain that will continue throughout the week, and also some flood warnings throughout the Northeast Georgia area. Looking ahead to your weather tonight, though, we're going to have drizzles all throughout the evening, around 64 at 6 p.m., and by midnight, that's going to drop to about 61 degrees. Looking ahead to tomorrow at 9 a.m., it's going to be about 63 degrees. By noon, 68, and by 3, we're going to reach the high of 69 degrees. Those drizzles will continue. Now, in some areas, there is a flood warning. In Middle Oconee River near Arcade, affecting Barrow and Jackson counties, and Oconee River near Penfield, affecting Clark, Greene, and Oconee counties. Now right now the rivers are currently at around 13 feet. By Thursday morning, they are expected to reach about 17.1 feet. Now by Thursday evening, the river levels should drop back down below flood levels. So hopefully we will see less water on the roads. Here's a look at your 3-day rainfall totals. In Gainesville, about 3.73 inches. In Atlanta, about 3.47 inches. And in Athens, about 2.37 inches. Now, some of that water is still idle on the roads, so just use caution when you're driving. The next 48 hours, that rain is expected to continue. Partly drizzle, but by the end of the week, it will continue to pick up with around 50% chance of rain over the weekend. Low temperatures tonight, an average of 59 degrees. In Athens, it'll be around 60. Atlanta, 61. Blairsville, 57. Toccoa, 58. And Augusta, 62. Tomorrow, those temperatures will get back up into the 60s and 70s. It'll be around 71 in Blairsville, 69 in Athens, and 70 in Atlanta. Tonight, once again, it's going to be heavy fog, a low of 60 degrees. Tomorrow, we will continue to see that heavy fog, patchy drizzle, calm winds, high of 69 degrees. Here's a look at our 5-day forecast. We're going to have highs in the 60s and 70s and lows in the 50s and 60s. Now, once again, this rain will continue throughout the week. We are going to see thunderstorms Friday and Saturday. Now, the National Weather Service issued a winter weather outlook this morning. We're going to see colder temperatures than normal, 40 to 50% colder and wetter than normal. Precipitation outlook, it's going to be about 40 to 60% wetter than previous winters. For more information, you can follow GradyNewsource.com. I'm Erin O'Brien.
2 local basketball teams look to rebound after last season didn't go as they hoped. I'll have more for you coming up next.
Hi, I'm Charles Davis, Dean of Grady College. And I'm Madeline Kennerly, Miss Georgia, and we are excited to be one of many organizations participating in a Hunger Bowl food drive.
From October 30th to November 13th, drop off your canned or boxed food items anywhere on the first 4 floors of Grady College in our specially marked bins.
If you don't want to haul big boxes of cans into Grady, we'll have volunteers at these times in the psychology parking lot to take your donations.
Go Dogs, go Hunger Bowl.
Drones are a new craze that's being taught in classrooms and flown in backyards all across America. But some traditional hobbyists aren't too thrilled about this new technology.
It's kind of like the drones are giving the hobby a bad name.
Reporter Zach Watson breaks down the tension tomorrow on Newsource.
Most party fouls? Not a big deal. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
And now, sports.
University of Georgia football coach Mark Richt dismissed the idea of any coaching changes at the end of the season. Linebacker Jordan Jenkins expressed his frustration at people who say Richt should go.
The first loss we had against Bama, people like, get fired for high Richt, fire the defensive coordinator, fire whoever. But I mean, at the same, we're still having not a lot of teams in college football even gets to how many wins we got, and I feel like we're going to have a strong finish this season.
Jenkins also says he tries to avoid the criticisms. The 5-3 Georgia Bulldogs host Kentucky at noon on Saturday. 1 point, but it was the point that cost Cedar Shoals boys basketball team a shot at the state title last year. This year, the Jaguars' expectations are high. Players are practicing with intensity, driving to the hoop, boxing out and getting the rebound. Defense is preventing easy buckets, not in my house. Senior guard Jarek Mitchell is playing with an edge. Number 1 proves he can drive to the hoop and make a key stop on defense. Head coach Eldrico Thomas says they have to play with that edge because there's a target on his team's back.
I want them to really understand that this year it's going to be even 2, 3 times as hard as it was last year, because now, people know who you are, and nobody's going to take you lightly now. People are going to play you, and you're going to get people's best every night.
The Jags host Tucker on November 14th to open the season. 5 miles across town, Clark Central hopes to return to the playoffs. The players are finding the open man, even though it's the preseason. They're communicating on both offense and defense, fighting their way through screens. The defense is playing with intensity, but offensive players are finishing plays. Missed shot with the tip in here, and an and one here. The Gladiators missed last year's playoffs after going 26-2 the year before. Head coach Andre McIntyre says he didn't like being home for the playoffs, and he won't have to with effort like this.
It's an empty feeling. It's something that you don't want to have. You work so hard, and that's one of your goals, to be a playoff team, to be one of the best teams in the state.
The Gladiators host Oconee County on November 17th to open the season.
The North Oconee River Greenway is a popular spot in Athens. Now there are plans to update the area. Find out how you can contribute your ideas to the plan next.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Thanks for coming in for the interview.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, we got your personal references, your resume, high school diploma or equivalent.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Yes, it's right there.
Great.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
The ACC Leisure Services Department wants your input. The Office of Park Planning is creating a master plan to redesign the North Oconee River Greenway. Currently, the Greenway provides wildlife corridors, open spaces, and family-friendly nature paths for public use. An online survey is available for Clark County residents to provide input about what they would like to see added to the Greenway, including playgrounds, picnic areas, and connecting paths to Athens neighborhoods. A link to the survey can be found on our website at GradyNewsource.com.
That's all we have time for this evening, but visit us on our website to catch up on today's digital news.
And make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Grady Newsource. I'm Shantari Skinner.
And I'm Chelsea Bimeford. Good night.
Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.